Today I'm in the village of Lower Oddington, the Church of St Nicholas, and this is a medieval doom painting dating from the 14th century, or 1340 to be more precise. This wall painting is extremely rare. Only 10% of all medieval wall paintings survive to this day. The medieval doom, one of the main paintings you would have found in a medieval church. We see at the bottom here, naked people. These denote the souls of the dead. They have risen on Judgment Day. On the left, we see heaven, and on the right, hell. This would have been visual language for any peasant. Prior to the Reformation in the 16th century, virtually every English church would have been painted just like this. However, in 1536, the reformers of the English church under Henry VIII issued 10 articles that condemned the use of images in the church. The images were regarded as superstitious and idolatrous, and the reformers wished to wipe the Church of England clean of such images such as this. Although this marked the beginning of the attack upon wall paintings, it wasn't really until the accession of Henry's son, King Edward VI, that the onslaught began truly. Within a decade, most medieval wall paintings had either been whitewashed, like this one here, or simply gouged out of the walls, destroyed forever. And here we have an artist's reconstruction of what this doom would have looked like back in the Middle Ages. Here we see a demon being fed the souls of the damned by another demon. And here we have his infernal majesty himself, Satan, flanked by his demons. See here, the doom here is extremely damaged. Whitewashing happened all over the country, and in Stratford-upon-Avon, the documents show us that the father of William Shakespeare himself was one of the people that whitewashed the doom painting in the church in Stratford-upon-Avon. We can see here Christ in the centre, judging the resurrected. He has 5 wounds and holds 2 hands up, his open palm in judgment. So what was the purpose of the medieval doom? Simply, it was to teach. Most churchgoers, or peasants, were illiterate. They could not gauge the language that the scripture was read in, which was Latin. A translation of the Bible into the vernacular was produced in the 1380s by John Wycliffe and his followers. But not many peasants read this, and so this is the main way they would know what the Bible told them. This is visual language for the medieval peasant. By the mid-16th century, most ecclesiastical wall paintings were obliterated as a result of the Protestant Reformation, a process that was repeated during the Civil War. Many paintings were physically destroyed, but it was also common to cover the earlier decoration with layers of limewash, onto which acceptable or less adulterous decoration was applied. Though often much simpler in design, these post-Reformation paintings are of equal importance. Many of the wall paintings that survived both the Middle Ages and the age of Reformation and post-Reformation were to meet their final anniversary, the Victorians. The Victorian age saw a new fashion encompass many medieval churches, that being the exposure of the original stonework. The issue for many medieval wall paintings, like this one, is that they were painted directly onto the plaster which covered this stonework. As they sat dormant for years, covered in whitewash, the unsuspecting wall paintings were to meet the final act of iconoclasm, destruction. The plaster was ripped away, and with it the wall paintings. We cannot say how many wall paintings were destroyed in this period, but it must have been in the hundreds. Thankfully enough have survived to produce an idea of the beauty which once filled medieval churches. However, there is one beacon of light in the Victorian age, and that is William Morris and his pre-Raphaelite artist friends. He lived in the nearby village of Kelmscott, which also has a wall painting, but not as grand as this. He, among with other pre-Raphaelites, were appalled at the state of churches and the destruction of wall paintings and other medieval art. And so, in 1877, William Morris founded the Society for the Preservation of Ancient Buildings, and as a result, many medieval churches have been restored to their once greatness. Even though many wall paintings were destroyed or covered up during the Reformation period, there was also a period during the English Civil War where, during the rise of Puritanism, many wall paintings were covered up once again. Today, these wall paintings are still threatened. In the 20th century, changing tastes saw many of these get covered over with simpler decoration. There is also a long-standing tradition for adaptation of ecclesiastical buildings for domestic use. This has meant that many wall paintings are still vulnerable even to this day. In this building, for instance, in this church and this doom painting, there is also an issue of the building's conditions. This doom, for instance, was damaged due to the lead on the roof being stolen from the church roof, and it's just allowed water to come through and damage the painting that we see behind us. Earlier in the video I mentioned that this is possibly Satan. However, others believe that this is Thomas Wolsey of the 16th century. This is backed up by the two people flanking him on the left and the right, both wearing ecclesiastical garb that is very reminiscent of the 16th century. Above, there is also an individual wearing what is seen as 15th or even 16th century clothing, which means that this whole part of the painting is possibly dated to the post-medieval period. Even wall paintings like the Doom in this church would have actually been on the chancel arch above me. This Doom is rare because it is on this wall, not the chancel arch, much like many other Doom paintings that survive to this day.
Hello! Thank you for watching the video. This video featured a guest on the channel, my good friend Josh, who is about to embark on his PhD as he holds a BA in Ancient and Medieval History and a Master's in Medieval Studies. Josh has his own YouTube channel, The Tales of the Tithing Men, so can you all go and subscribe to his channel and watch his content? Thank you. St. Nicholas's Church is located in a place called Lower Oddington in the county of Gloucestershire, a hidden gem in England. St. Nicholas is managed by the Everlode Vale Churches. All relevant information links are in the description tab. Thank you all for watching.